let's talk Scoot Henderson and the Portland Trail Blazers. The thing I want to call out with Scoot, because I've seen a lot of very strong takes, and look, I'm going to be like overwhelmingly positive about Scoot as well, because look, it's one of those deals when you see it, you know it. Like truly, the way that he dictated the tempo of the game is like expert level veteran guard kind of stuff, except he's also a brick shit house that has like an immense first step and like can keep anybody on his back at all times. Like there's a play where Nate Hinton like played denial, and like Nate Hinton is like big. He's like 6'5", 215, 220 pounds, wing, physical, strong. Like he's not in the NBA because not because of his defense. Like Nate Hinton is a good defender at every level he's ever played. And Scoot Henderson gets denied. They inbound the ball to Rupert. Scoot just goes after the denial, catches the ball. Hinton's trying to recover, trying to get around him, using his length, using his like size to try and get around him. And Scoot just keeps him in jail. But the whole time he keeps him in jail, he's actually covering forward ground. Like it's not like I'm just like keeping this guy in jail and not moving forward. I'm keeping this guy in jail while still being able to like cover ground and cover court and take up space and get into the paint. And then eventually he just takes this like enormous long stride extended forward and gets all the way to the rim and makes this like inside hand finish. And it's just like, this is shit where like there are NBA guards who can't do that. Like Darius Garland, like I love him. He's just not like big enough to do that against guys like that, right? Like Darius Garland's incredible, and Darius Garland is a better shooter. He's better, you know, at a number of things than Scoot Henderson is. And there are just certain things that you see with Scoot where it's like, oh, like there are like 5 guards in the league that could do that. Like truly, they're like that is like Anthony Edwards type shit right there that we're watching. Except, oh wait, Scoot threw 2 of the most absurd, like offhand, left hand cross corner kickouts, like while he was up in the air that I've seen at Summer League, like in the last 5 years that I've been watching it or whatever, last 8 years. Like it's the feel for the game. It's the creativity. It's all of it kind of mixed together with him while also being so strong, while having that explosive first step, while also just understanding how to play at tempo. Like this dude is a star. Like I think straight up, he is a star, and everything we saw in his 21 minutes before he hurt his shoulder, I think said otherwise or said the same exact thing we've been saying throughout the process.
Yeah, the it factor is really what it comes down to with Scoot Henderson. Like he's got it, and it's we talked about this throughout the draft cycle after watching the Ignite versus Metropolitans game early in the season. He had that intuitive feel for how and when to try to take over a game. And I think beyond that, like that's what great players have, but they also have a feel for like the narrative in some regard. And like this felt like Scoot Henderson coming out with a fuck you game. It just felt that way in summer league that he
Yeah.
knew he was going to come out and just prove everybody that didn't think he was the second best player or even the best player in this draft wrong, and come out and just completely take over and own that game. And he looked so damn good for those minutes that he was out there for Portland. That was, to me, that was the highlight of the game, of any game that we saw this summer, was that opening contest between the Blazers and the Rockets. That was so much fun.
Oh, it was by far. It was by far the best game at Summer League. It was so funny. Like that was the best game at Summer League, and then the Spurs Hornets game was the worst game at Summer League. Like we got them both back to back. It was so funny to like see the way that like the energy drained from the crowd by the middle of the second quarter, even after we just watched Jabari Smith drain like a 30-footer to
Yeah.
win that Rockets Blazers game. It was pretty funny. The other thing about Scoot that I kind of just want to note before maybe we move on, there's probably a little bit more to talk about than that. Like he did this against undeniably the most athletic team at Summer League and like the best team at Summer League, frankly, in Houston, right? With all of their dudes. Like he got switched on to Tari Eason multiple times and he was good. Like it didn't matter. It was fine. Tari's 6'8", 7'2" wingspan, enormous hands. Like he's good. It's all good with him. Jabari Smith is big, 6'10", 7'1" wingspan. Didn't matter. Jay Huff won the Defensive Player of the Year in the G League last year. Like Jay Huff's like actually a good defender. Didn't matter. Cam Whitmore led Summer League in steals. I think he averaged like 3.5 per game. Didn't matter. Like Amen Thompson was his primary point of attack defender. 6'7", 7-foot wingspan. One of the most electric athletes you'll ever watch play basketball. Scoot got wherever he wanted. Like that is a more athletic team than he will face mostly on a day-to-day basis in the NBA. And it was just good. He was all good. He's truly all good. And I don't know, man. Like I'm in like totally. I was in before this, but like those 21 minutes, it was just like, oh yeah, like this is going to be great. The 6 assists were the ridiculous number to me. Like he played 21 minutes and I think was responsible per synergy for like 33 points created in the game. Jabari Smith like scored like 37 points and played 31 minutes. Like no other player was responsible for more offense than Scoot Henderson was in that game, despite the fact that Scoot only played like 20 minutes. It was absurd. It was completely ridiculous. He was absolutely incredible, unbelievable. And I couldn't be more excited to watch him play more this year.
Love Scoot, man. It's just I wish we got a little bit more from him, but I'll be honest, like even if he didn't get his shoulder banged up a little bit, I have a feeling he would have been shut down pretty shortly after that. Like he doesn't belong on a summer league court.
I think it would have been 2 games. Would have been the same as Vic. Honestly, like I think the impression I got was like probably could have played, but they just kind of were like, we've seen enough.
Yes.
We've seen enough in 20 minutes.